Hey everyone, Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back to another video. It feels as if we are back in the football ecosystem, truly. Norwich have played a league game, a cup game, another league game this Saturday. A couple of home games back-to-back now, which is really good fun. The Premier League returns on Friday evening, which is a good point. Our Fantasy Premier League, in conjunction with Big C, is up and running again. I'm going to link it in the description. It's £10 to enter. All of those proceeds go to the Big C. Last year, just from the Fantasy League alone, we raised nearly £2,000 for Norfolk's cancer charity. We're trying to do the same again this year. There are trophies for the winners. There are vouchers for the winners in both league and cup. So if you're an avid fantasy football player or not an avid fantasy football player, Chris Reeve, I'm looking at you, then get involved. You'll beat Chris, guaranteed. So that's something to cheer about. Low bar, but still something to cheer about. And you're raising money for a brilliant cancer charity. The link to that is down in the description. You need to be quick. The deadline is 4 o'clock on Friday the 16th of August. In terms of Norwich City, well, it's still all go, isn't it? I mean, what else would you expect after a really chaotic month or so? And I think it's exciting on the most part. It's exciting because there's change and Norwich City needed change. And it feels as if the travel, or at least the direction of travel, is going in the right way. Norwich City played Blackburn on Saturday. Blackburn have got off to a flying start. Lots and lots of goals, although I have seen that Sammy Schmodix is rumoured with a move down the road to Ipswich Town. It seems like everybody's going to Ipswich at the moment. We'll see how that ends. But Norwich City have to concentrate on this. It's the first competitive league game of the season at Carrow Road. It was a cheerful night on Tuesday against Stevenage. Look, it was not great opposition. Still League One, not terrible. We conceded 3 goals, but we scored 4. And there were parts of that performance where you looked at and went, okay, like I can see where this is going. I can see what we're trying to do here. And that was very different to what I felt at Oxford United, where it all felt really, well, similar to last season, which was really concerning. We saw a much different team on Tuesday. We saw the likes of Brad Hills, Jayden Warner, Abu Kamara, players in there that fans have been calling out for. We saw Forson Amankwa start, and play the majority of that game, and he looked excellent. Had Odell Hernandez playing as a striker. There was lots to be intrigued about. There was lots to be excited about, and I think that continues on Saturday. We shall start with some transfer news because you guys love transfer news and I love it just as much. Jonny Rowe, a second bid has been placed by Marseille. They look to be the only club in for him at the moment. Leeds were initially rumoured with him, and Leeds will have cash at this point. I think they've just sold Ruta to Brighton, haven't they, for 40 million quid. So they need replacements and they need them quick. They may well come in again. I mean, there's still a couple of weeks left of this transfer window, so anything can happen, but it is Marseille at the moment who are the only club really interested in him. Leeds had kind of a 30-second off-the-cuff chat with Norwich City about his availability, haven't actually lodged a bid of any note yet. Marseille, on the other hand, have lodged 2 bids for Jonny Rowe, and both of them a long way from the valuation that Norwich City have set. And this is the issue we've got now with Rowe. He's in the 21s. He will continue to train with the under-21s. Johannes Hoftorp has made it very clear that he won't be involved this weekend, and probably not for the foreseeable, at least until the transfer window is shut, or we have some kind of knowledge about his future, whether that's here or whether that's elsewhere. So we continue to kind of dance the dance with Marseille. Apparently Monaco are also intrigued about Jonathan Rowe. So I think if I was a betting man, I would have my money on Jonny Rowe leaving the football club before the end of the transfer window, and probably for a fee where we all go, oh, is that all? But Norwich are holding out. You know, they have a valuation for Rowe, and they are, at least at this stage, sticking to it. I would think that is north of 10 million quid, and the 2 bids from Marseille have come south of £10 million so far. So that one rumbles on. He won't be involved with the first team this weekend. He wasn't involved on Tuesday. He wasn't involved the previous Saturday, but that was his narrative. So yeah, keep an eye on Jonny Rowe. At the moment, there's no tangible bids, and I think he has kind of put us in that situation because Marseille will know that he doesn't want to be at Norwich City. Marseille probably really know deep down that Norwich City don't really want Jonny Rowe anymore. At the moment, he is a problem rather than a solution to Johannes Torp's plans. So we'll see where that one goes. The other one is interesting, and that's Josh Sargent. And we've not really heard a whole lot about Josh Sargent this summer, which is weird, really, because I would have him behind Gabby Sarah, who is, of course, now gone, still trying to get over that one, as our best player. Like, if he's fit and he remains fit, he's a guaranteed 20-goal-a-season striker in the Championship. Now, Johannes Torp has come out and spoken about Josh Sargent. He said that there was interest earlier on this summer from MLS, but that's kind of calmed down a little bit. And he said that he wants him in his plans going forwards, and that Josh is fully committed to the plans going forward. So unless a big money bid comes in for Josh Sargent, it's looking likely that he's going to stay. Now, that could change. If an MLS club comes in for 20 million quid, then he probably gets sold. But at this stage, that looks unlikely. And that's really pleasing because I said it at the start of the transfer window, and I'll say it again now. I think he is the hardest player to replace. Gabby Sarah, probably the most talented, was probably the best player in the Championship last season. But you feel as if you can at least have a bit more of a chance of picking up a decent midfielder. Not to the quality of Gabby Sarah, but even with Forsen and Mankwa, you feel as if he will come in and make an influence to pick up a really good, seasoned Championship striker that you know will score goals at this level and that isn't going to cost you the absolute world. That's really difficult. You saw it with Adam Eder. Like, we've got nearly 10 million quid for Adam Eder. He scored a few Championship goals, but he certainly wasn't as impressive as Josh Sargent in front of goals. So he's the one for me we need to keep hold of at the moment. That's looking likely, at least for this transfer window. We'll see how that one progresses. But for now, keeping him out of the limelight is not a bad thing. So Josh Sargent at the moment looks likely to stay. Couple of good bits of injury news for this weekend. That's that Jose Cordoba and Ben Crescene will feature. They are fit and ready to go for the Blackburn game, which is huge news because that was the area of the pitch where I thought we were desperately exposed against Oxford United. I thought we looked a little bit better against Stevenage. I know we conceded 3, but there was that tinge of youth being dropped in there. Brad Hills, Jaden Warner, you had Callum Doyle come on. So you've got a couple more options now. I think Jack Stacey starts out on the right. That seems obvious. I'd throw Cordoba straight in there and see what he's made of. I'd have Brad Hills next to him. I'd have Hills and Cordoba. And then I'd probably have Ben Crescene out at left back. If you're not starting Brad Hills, which is fair enough, you've got Callum Doyle who can go in there. I think Callum Doyle's a centre-back. I think we need to start our out-and-out left back, and that's Ben Crescene. He starts at left back for me, and then you've got options at centre back. You don't play Hanley, you don't play Duffy. So it's Cordoba, it's Hills, it's Callum Doyle. You've got options. Let's utilise them. Ashley Barnes is going to be back after the international breaks. It's still a little while for that, and it does leave us light up top, although the newfound scoring of Onel Hernandez will please Johannes Torp. Christian Fastnacht and Jakob Sorensen are out for some time. That's unfortunate, but it does. Thankfully, we do have depth there. You've got Abu Kamara who can play out in Fastnacht's position. You've got Onel Hernandez that can play out in Fastnacht's position. You would have Jonny Rowe if he wanted to play football. He is still with the under-21. So Blackburn at the weekend. It's going to be an interesting one. It has to be so different to Oxford, and I'm confident it will be. If we can develop that performance that we had against Stevenage for longer periods and not concede stupid set-piece goals, then we've got a chance. It's still so early on in the season. I think everyone's seen Blackburn score like 10 goals in their first 2 games and go, oh my God, they're going to win the league. They're going to be without Sammy Schmodics, I think, at time of recording. And you just never know. You never know. I think the team news and what Johannes Torp is seeing against Oxford and also Stevenage will mean that we see a lot of changes from what we saw against Oxford. I think that defence, there's wholesale changes. I think you start Forsen and Mankwa. You've got Kenny McLean obviously in there. I think you've got an option for Abu Kamara outright, or actually Onel Hernandez after his impressive display against Stevenage. You've got Borja Sainz that can go out on the left side. You've still got Josh Sargent in there. That number 10 role is kind of up for grabs. So, it feels more positive than Oxford. And I know not much has really changed in terms of the squad, but I think the introduction of the youth against Tuesday, and I think that was actually a really important game. And a couple of players back fit, Cordoba and Ben Crescene, that they'll be huge in terms of getting them back fit and ready to go. Suddenly things look a little bit more optimistic. Look, there's still a long way to go, a long way to go. But I really hope we put performance in on Saturday that gets the home crowd up for it and believing in a new era. Most people, thankfully, wouldn't have been at Oxford. And I'm so jealous of those that didn't go. So this is the start of the season now. This is the start. We've got a couple of your new signings fit. You've dealt with the nonsense that came the week before. You've had a win at Carrow Road on Tuesday in the Cup. Now's the time to kick on. Let's see a performance. Let me know how you think it's going to go. And also your starting 11 down in the comment section below. A reminder, Fancy Football. I would love to see you over there. It's £10 to enter. All the proceeds go to Big C. And you've got a chance of winning some prizes and competing against fellow TNC viewers. You're not going to beat me though. See you over there. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.